What is up, JG6 here, we're back with another YouTube video. It's Sunday, we got the rankings, but of course, coming off seasons, beatings, pay-per-view, we gotta go over the show a little bit. Of course, coming in hot, we had that Royal Rumble, which, a little expedited, so to speak, with the 30-second intervals, but I thought it made for a really electrifying start to the show. And honestly, I think that maybe the 30-second might be the key to the show openers going forward. But when the Rumble comes in January, the big Rumble, we're doing full 2 minutes. This could be hour plus easily. Cannot wait for that. But of course, the Rumble walking away from that thing was Z-Rock will be a part of a multi-man match next week. It's gonna be Shrades defending. Let's just tap on that real quick. Shrades defended against Cap. Great showing there. Really like what I'm seeing from Shrades, but we're gonna throw him to the wolves a little bit. You know, he's got a little bit of legs underneath him. Time to test that guy. So he's gonna be facing the quote Rumble MVP from last time, which was Craigie, the Rumble MVP from this Rumble, which we'll talk about in the rankings. But to me, I think it was Roy McCracken. Absolutely electric showing in that Rumble, lasting essentially the whole way. One of the final people eliminated there. Huge showing by Roy. So we're gonna see Roy, Craigie, Shrades, and of course Z-Rock in a multi-man situation. But congrats to Z-Rock. There are also some good showings from a few folks. Luchador, nice showing there, and Sir, a little bit of legs as well. And you got to touch on this: the return of Sap Daddy and the return of Chef J. Ruiz. Immediately see Sapper's vibe. We got Chef still going after Sap. So just see how that plays out. We still don't really know who took out Chef. We don't. So like that has been hanging over TSW for a while now. You know, is it BCOT related? Is it, I mean, I certainly don't think this is Springstoff related. That's kind of the other side of the universe here. So I'm gonna be interested to see what happens there. Of course, we touched on Kapnerg for Shrades, and speaking of those guys, we'll touch on Team America versus the BCOT. We are gonna rematch because I just really enjoyed the trios action. I thought the match was a little quick too. I'd like to see a little bit more legs, so maybe we do an elimination style this upcoming week. But of course, congratulations to the BCOT inaugural trios champions. Those are gonna be kind of tough to work with. Of course, there's not technically trios in game, but you know, thought it'd be a little bit fun to add a little bit more depth here to TSW. It's such a huge roster. I mean, we're up to 60, 70, even 80 competitors when you consider guys who are kind of part-time in and out as well. And this happens later, but speaking of part-time, we'll touch on this right now. Steven Flo. Of course, Animal Open Challenge answered by the legend Steven Flo. You never know what happens. If something's going viral, JG might sink his teeth in there and bring him in on to TSW. So joins a long list of other celebrity and wrestlers, talking to Pat, talking about Big Boom, Grado, among so many other legends. Hendry, of course, who could forget JG Hendry? Who could forget? And then we have a couple open challenge type situations. First, of course, we have Brandon 2K, answered by Tony, coming off a Rumble 2. Tony, decent showing. C-Ball in there at ringside, but he's really struggling to get things going as a singles wrestler. Was trying to get a little teamwork going there, of course, alongside Team America, but clearly that didn't work out for Tony. So I'm just see what's next for Tony here in TSW. A lot of losses, a lot of them. Brandon 2K keeps that ball rolling. Probably gonna keep with open challenge. Not sure if we have a Brandon 2K this week. Of course, holiday is gonna be a funky, maybe a little bit shorter of a show. Not gonna make full turbo, but probably in the 90-minute, 2-hour ranges. We definitely have some fun holiday stuff and some just big matches we got to kind of settle in. With Rumble approaching, I want to kind of figure out where a lot of our champs are going to be. Now, with a 30-person Rumble, for the most part, champs won't be in there, but there will definitely be opportunities for champs to be in there, because I think it's only fair to give everybody kind of an equal opportunity regardless of what you're doing. Because, you know, end of the day, even if you're a lower end quote singles title, you want to be in the main event of Mania. You want to go for that heavyweight championship, whether you're BMI, cruiserweight, hardcore, tag team, trio, it doesn't matter. You know, everybody wants that main event of Mania against, now we know, Ched. We'll touch on that match as well. Let's keep going through. Talking about Brand's open challenge, kind of an open challenge here. Clap. Saying, we'll face that unit gone, you know, 7 feet tall, 600 goddamn pounds, but comes out slim, trim, somehow lost a foot and 400 pounds. Not sure how he pulled it off. I gotta think maybe Ozempic had something to do with it, but good showing by Khan. I gotta say, first time we've obviously seen him wrestle. The first time I've watched him. Sometimes I'll do kind of tests with some new wrestlers, see how they operate, but I thought he looked really good in that match. And I'm very excited to see what's next for Khan here in TSW. I'm certain he'll be getting up to some more dastardly deeds here, and stock and dastardly clap, of course. Man, shareholders are thrilled. Stocks to the fucking moon right now. I love what I'm seeing from Clap. I love the passion, love the promos, but I think we got to start testing that guy, right? Couple decent singles matches, but I think he can show he can handle it. So we're gonna ramp things up. Similar to Shrade's gonna ramp things up a little bit here in the future. We got a big steel cage match. Talking about the future, we got CJ versus Up and Adam. A really fun back and forth there. CJ, of course, calling out Adam, former teammates there for the Hollywood Express. Is that right? My brain already just, you know, when you do a lot into once something's kind of done with, you kind of push it out the memory. It's like going through the title history and be like, you held that title, when the fuck did that happen? I apologize for that. So of course, CJ versus Adam. CJ, former Universal Champion. Adam never holding gold. Adam gets the win though, so Adam will be challenging the Universal Champion. We're gonna wait for a one-on-one at the Rumble, but of course, we have a new Universal Champion as Boxy. I mean, we got to see at least the rematch here, but I think Boxy has cemented his place as the greatest wrestler in TSW history. We were already kind of considering that after the hardcore title reign, what he did in the Rumble, you know, look at the rankings, 57 whatever days with title. I think after this one, I think Boxy is top of the top, creme de la creme, #1 all time. It's debatable, certainly, considering, you know, oh, you know, it's the hardcore, it's the universal, but at the end of the day, no matter what the title is, if you hold the title, that's impressive nonetheless. You know, technically it's more impressive holding the lower titles when you think about how often they defend them too. You know, love me some King Shed, but you know, only a handful of title defense over a couple month period, kind of inflating that a little bit. But I have said that in the new year, I think all champions are gonna defend a little bit more. I think the once a month defenses I don't love. I'd like to see you guys step up in there a little bit more often. But yeah, we got Adam versus the Universal Champion, of course. Boxy, big showing there. Albrecht debuts as manager. He was the surprise attacker, which I don't think anybody saw coming. But you know what? We love a good swerve, especially when we can make it kind of logical as well. And we're going to touch on the women's title. Couple more matches here. The women's title. We talked about it going in. The big story has been every time Steph loses that women's championship, she wins it back in the rematch and then buries whatever the former champion was on the way to just facing a new challenger. So the first half of the equation has stayed the same here as Huggies loses the title back to Steph. Now the rematch coming up at Rumble is going to be one to keep your eyes on here, as like we just mentioned, been kind of a hot potato situation. So it's gonna be really fun to see how that plays out, if Huggies can get the win back. You know, having backup at ringside hasn't always proved to be beneficial in TSW. I mean, we saw Cap lose despite 3 managers, and of course Huggies with 2 managers. You never know what's going to happen in TSW. And of course, real quick, as we mentioned, the women's tag team championships, of course, defended last week, not on this week, and they got to find a new challenger. You know, we've said that it's a thin division, but we can't just keep rematching the rematch to the rematch. So who's going to be next stepped up in the tag team title picture? You know, does Steph try to go champ? We're not ruling that out right now. We're not ruling that out. Now, the final 2 matches. Ooh. I'll be honest, like, part of me wanted to talk about Money in the Bank last, but of course, with how that show ended, we got to touch on it first. Money in the Bank. We knew coming in it was going to go one of 2 ways. We can go one of 2 ways here. We're either going to see a scamper up the ladder in 2 minutes, and we're all going to be like, well, that sucked. Or we're going to be in for a treat. And oh, how we were in for a treat. By the way, speaking of delicious treats, Rogue Energy, code GAG603, 20% off all your orders. It's the holiday season. Get your Rogue Energy, baby. Moving right along here. Ice Cube. Back to it here. You know, I could edit that out, but honestly, I think that was kind of funny. Because, you know, I could, like, takes the drink. Okay, promo. No. That was kind of funny. We're keeping that. We just added, like, an extra length, a minute to this video for no fucking, but you know what? It's how we do it here. Anyway, Money in the Bank, 8 electric competitors. I would not have been upset with whoever walked away. I mentioned it on stream after. I don't think we were rolling still. I personally would have wanted Raw or Dargan, because I think the Dargantic is a good storyline. Of course, Raw is just the fucking belt collector, is a badass, a fucking killer. But I would say my third pick is probably the guy who walked away with it. The big boss Ham himself, of course, made that BMI division one of the greatest in TSW. A little bit of intrigue too with Finn there at his side still, which is gonna be kind of interesting to see how that plays out going forward. But what a fun finish too. Landmark is up there. Deke interrupts. And Landmark's up there and he's like, he's got this, and LB goes to stop him and can't move the ladder. Oh my God, absolute cinema. I couldn't have booked that finish better if I physically was running with all 8 fucking wrestlers in that match. Absolutely unbelievable. Congrats to Landmark. Everyone else in that match having on decent authority. They're probably gonna be in the Rumble. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are some of the best in TSW. Worked out great for the booker. You know, I think when you looked at the outside of, I think Animal not being in that match does suck, but again, we only have so much control. It is sim wrestling. I think it makes it very interesting because obviously on paper, Animal in Money to Make It, possibly even winning it, would have been the most logical thing to do, but fucking logic right out the goddamn window. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how the Rumble plays out now, because I would say those 7 people, unless something big happens title wise, because I mean the tag champs probably get them in the Rumble, but unless something crazy happens, I think all 7 of those people, we're looking at the first 7 entrants possibly in the Rumble, which no, there will not be multiple Dargans. This is the real Rumble. There's gonna be 30. Very straightforward. We might have like a joke early on, you know, because it's an hour. But we are not gonna have fucking Canteen Boy in there. But now we move on to Last Ham Standing, the main event of the evening. What a blast that was. Literally with the finish of the Baja Blast. Dude, JG looked really good for a while, but when it started to teeter out, you could tell he just was out of passion. Ched dominant there. Trio really a factor. Welcome in Trio, by the way. Of course, Dargan wasn't gonna be in there because Money in the Bank, and I was confident. I was like, dude, one-on-one, I like my chance against Ched because I beat him last hand before. But Trio wasn't in my mind. Showed up at ringside, huge factor in that match. Certainly learned from the school of Dargantics in terms of distracting the wrestler and the referee. But really fun main event. I don't think it was longer, but I didn't go back and look. It actually could be up there with Brandon versus Landmark. I mean, I think it was a good 40-minute match. Absolute banger. Dude, those last man stipulations are a freaking treat. We gotta use those sparingly, because we are on a great run of some of the greatest matches you will ever see in wrestling. But again, congratulations to Ched, but most importantly, the post-match. Landmark comes down, and I was, bro, the whole, everybody, we're like, oh shit, it's going down. It's going down. Takes him out, hands the briefcase over, got the title to take him out, and then who stops it but JG? We're not quite sure the full, I don't know. Is JG just mad? He's like, dude, I didn't beat him. You're not beating him. Does he not want the show stolen? I don't know. You know, I think there's some serious, is it just respect? It could definitely just be pure respect of Ched. We just went to fucking war, man. I'll help you out on this one. You know what I'm saying? Next one's on you. I'll spot you this one. It's gonna be really fun to see how that goes forward, and just this intrigue where Landmark literally could cash in anytime. Ched could be a manager at ringside and we could have a cash in. Like, dude, it's gonna be absolutely electric to watch. But with that being said, let's get to some rankings, baby. Ooh, hot out the oven. Power rankings, yeah. All right, so let me just get up, I'll just get my notes here. Okay, let's get into it. Of course, first of all, I'm gonna say goodbye to a lot of people this week. Rowdy, Kopak, DT, and Schmitty. Also some love to Luchador there in the Rumble. Decent showing, but we got number 40 here. Back, funny, I think Chef was at 40 last week or 2 weeks ago, because we just didn't know what was up with him. Well, we know what's up with him now. He is back. He has gone right after Sap, so clearly he thinks that's in play. I don't know yet. We still don't know what's up with him. We touched on that a little bit earlier, but here is Chef from 40. Previously unranked. We got DT here was 36, dropped back to 39. Now, Kopak and so DT2 got pinned, and Kopak has wrestled less. So just for that, I think DT's gonna hold on just by a sliver here on the power rankings. But man, that trios match gonna be huge for Team America. We've got DJ and Swanee here, just gonna bang back to back. They both worked together, both fell 3 spots each. You know, former tag champions, always working in the singles divisions as well, so keep an eye on these guys going forward. Not much we can touch on there. I did lose the number one contention for the tag titles, but again, definitely these two guys can keep an eye on them, especially as Rumble season approaches. We will have qualifiers, we will just have people in there, so keep an eye on these two guys. We got Casio 3 spots back as well. Not a great showing in this Rumble, but he's been kind of the Rumble mastermind in the past, losing that title a little bit here. Excited to see what's next for Casio. Love me some Cash. Great guy, great interactions. We'll keep an eye on that. He's due a breakout. And speaking of due a breakout, talked about him earlier. Roy McCracken, unranked, debuts here, 35. Of course, hardcore title match this week. Roy could very well walk out hardcore champion, multi-man match, absolute question marks across the board. Best of luck, Roy. Great Rumble showing. We've got Khan. Again, a lot of these guys we touched on earlier in the breakdown of the pay-per-view. So Khan, of course, big debut here at 34, unranked, of course. Excited to see what's next from my man Khan. We got CJ coming off a tough loss in that steel cage. A lot of these guys you're gonna hear what is next. Rumble season approaches. Two people who we don't really know what's up with. Former women's tag champs, former women's singles champ, singles title locked up right now, singles feud, and they can't challenge back for the tag title. So I don't know what's next for these two, but right now they're on a hard reset. Talk about a hard reset. Falling back a bit lately, but that makes me very nervous here. Burn just slowly simmering to the back burner. Only a matter of time till it's a full boil here, especially with B-Cot winning the trios titles. I fear we might have the beginning of the second half of this B-Cot takeover here coming as January and Mania approaches. Keep a freaking eye out on this man. Talk about keep an eye out. We've got Finn dropping 10 spots, AJ dropping 10 spots. Similar boat, both lost money. Actually, I think, yes, and also dropping, this one not 10 spots, this one only dropping 12 spots, never mind, more spots. And actually even one more. All these folks, great showings in Money in the Bank as we are up to 26 here. All fell similar spots, all in good spots going forward. Finn only, actually all these guys former champions in different divisions, cruiserweights, of course Universal, Hardcore. Rumble essentially locked those guys in for the Rumble. Actually, I think we're just gonna call it. I think those 7 guys will be in the Rumble. Again, unless anything really weird happens, one of them ends up in some huge program. But I think we have our first 7 entrants to the Rumble there. Big shout out to all these guys, some of the OGs in the house. Now, up to 25. You'll notice we stopped at 25. Money in the Bank losers, we have one more. We got Dargan here just by default, kind of just chunked his way up. Had a little bit more going on more recently, and plus we just love ourselves some Dargantics. Again, Rumble coming, Dargan. You only get one fucking entry. I mean it. I mean it, damn it. But best of luck to Dargan to make some money. Others going forward. Of course, Dargan. A lot of controversy. We thought maybe the boxy attack was related. Is the chef attack related? We don't know. It's fucking Dargan. I never know what's going on in that man's head. I never know. You never know. Who knows? Who could tell? Not me. We've got Animal here from 30 up a bit to 24. You know, wasn't a Money in the Bank, but you got to win this week. It was over Steven Flo, but a win is a win. A win is a win. So big hats off there to Animal, building some momentum back as Rumble approaches. I can't just give him the spot, but he's gonna have some opportunities after missing Money in the Bank. He's gonna have some opportunities to get in that match. That's for goddamn sure. We have got Kapner coming off a tough loss there. Of course, former hardcore champion dropping the belt to Shrades, losing his rematch. Bit of a hard reset there for Kapner. Excited to see where he goes forward. You know, of course, Team America working the trios titles. Where's Cap next? Does he go cruiserweight, stick in the hardcore? Maybe moves up the card. Who could possibly know? Rumble? Certainly. Looking at him right now. We got Z-Rock, of course, speaking of the hardcore title, going from, I have him as, he was unranked last week. Okay, he was unranked last week, jumping up to 22 here, of course, winning that Rumble electric fashion. Good showing by Z-Rock there. This on again, off again performances by Z-Rock is absolutely baffling, but maybe he'll stay on for 2 weeks. Who knows, honestly? With this wrestler, literally no one. Absolutely nobody. We've got JG603 there. You know, we're going to drop back a little bit, dropping from a 12 to a 21, flip that thing around. Of course, good showing against Shed, couldn't get the job done. What's next for JG? You know, certainly looking at the Rumble. But, you know, you never know what happens in TSW. Maybe something else percolates for old JG. I doubt it, but I think Rumble's certainly a good shout here for JG, up at 20 now, raising 9 spots. Craigie confirmed hardcore title match this weekend to become a 2-time hardcore champion. Some more confirmed title matches coming up here. We got Up and Adam, of course, winning the steel cage against CJ Sauce, and then we have the tag team number 1 contendership of Grim Reaper 603 and XHG Prodigy. All these guys pretty straightforward, challenging for titles this week. Solid history across the board. A little unproven, mind you, for Grim, but best of luck to those competitors this upcoming week. And now we get to the champion set of this ranking, although I think there's a couple non-champions in there. But we've got, of course, the trios champions, of course, titled not officially on them in universe, so not showing here. But we got Swain, least decorated them, and then Chico, and then, of course, the guy who got the pinfall victory was Chris. Of course, he's got a two-time tag champion, now inaugural trios champion. Some of the best tag wrestling you can possibly ask for. Be caught, though, building momentum. Talk about momentum. Building, stopped by Springstoff here, but big time. He's gonna have Sir at ringside for that rematch. Not sure if that happens probably next couple weeks. I don't think we drag that out to a Rumble, of course, as we have Adam patiently waiting for either Big Time or Boxy in the near future. As we close in on the top 12, the Dirty Dozen. Huggy's going from 5 back to 12. Of course, lost the Women's Championship, but will be facing Steph at the Rumble rematch for that very title. Miss JG here at 11, dropping back a little bit just because, of course, you know, some really big shifting at the top of these rankings here. And then, of course, Jen here at 10. See, I'm confused by, like, typically the top 10 get boost, but maybe that changed. And of course, women's tag champions, no clue what's next for them right now. Huge reset in that division. We got Joker. You know, arguably should have been 4 last week. I thought he got the pinfall, he did not. But a bit of a tumble here, only because, you know, lost Money in the Bank, defending the titles this week, and, you know, there were a lot of people who did a lot of big wins this week. Of course, with Joker there, you gotta think Raw's right behind him. Of course, here at 8, we got Steph jump from 16 to 7, 4-time women's, unbelievable. She's the best of the best. I don't know. Like, she'll have an off day and then make up for it immediately. Unbelievable stuff here from Steph at 7. We got Boxy from 20 up to 6. I think it's maybe a little controversial. I could argue Boxy maybe being a little bit higher on this list, but when you consider his losses and not his full history, you know, call it the last 2-3 weeks, I think here being at 6 is very logical. But of course, gonna defend that title, easily gonna be top 3. But it's a loaded top rankings right now. Here at 5, we've got Shrades. Of course, huge heel turn, fantastic run, but big match this week. Multi-man matchup. What's going to go down there? The world may never know. And here's where it gets interesting. At 4, we have the big boss Ham himself, Ham Mark. 2-time BMI champion, now Mr. Money in the Bank here in TSW. Landmark, of course, could very well be the next heavyweight champion. We got to rank him high. He's got that briefcase, the most prestigious item, frankly. I mean, if you're not heavyweight championship, this is the next best thing right now. So I'm dying to see what happens with Landmark, but let's get to the top 3. Controversy, maybe? I don't think so. We've got Clap here at number 3, up from 9. It was only 9 due to a little bit of activity, but really good run right now from Clap. Great showing against Khan. Vibe, of course, holding down the fort at ringside. Interest, yo, the Sap situation here goes. Very interesting to see how that goes. But that leaves us to the top 2, and they haven't changed. Number 2 is gonna be Brandon 2K. Number 1 is gonna be Ched, of course. Brandon, good showing, open challenge against Tony, touching that a little bit earlier, and of course Ched, the best of the best, the ham de la ham, the creme de la creme. Oh, so vascular. The absolute best. Big shout out to Ched. Best luck holding that title, though. You know, of course, Landmark's watching, waiting. And, you know, JG doesn't have that rematch clause. We need to figure out who's facing Ched at Rumble. Which brings us to this upcoming week's show. We are going to be crowning the number 1 contender for Ched's title. Who's in it? What's the match? I'm afraid you guys are gonna have to tune in this week to find out. This will be a digital show, YouTube exclusive, we should say, of course, for the holiday. Gonna be a little bit holiday themed. It's gonna be a little over the top, but I think it's gonna be a fun time. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, bell ding, activate all that good stuff, and I'll get you next time. Ho, ho, ho. Y'all been the best, y'all been too sweet. Appreciate ya, baby. Bye.